Thanks for checking out the video. Today I'm going to be discussing the top heroes to pick for Soul Exchange version 1. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because I will be releasing a video on every other Soul Exchange that comes out in the future. So you'll definitely have up to the date information on all the different Soul Exchanges that happen. So you'll have very clear and concise information on which heroes you should do in the next Soul Exchange as well. And I will also be discussing the brand new calendar update coming out in March, as well as talking about the hero of the month. So you're not going to want to miss that. Before I get into the specifics of the heroes, it's very important that you ask yourself these 5 questions. By asking these 5 questions, it will help get you to the point to where you will know which hero you should definitely use on the Soul Exchange, or potentially not even participate in Soul Exchange. So it's very important that you ask yourself these 5 questions. The first question you gotta ask yourself is, what is my biggest weak point? What do I mean by that? First off, you may have a lack of overall color for defense. So maybe you've got a whole bunch of red heroes and maybe you're missing some green heroes, stuff like that. So you need to figure out, what do you have a lack of on your current roster? Maybe you have a lack of specific heroes that are niche specific that are used in certain circumstances. So maybe you need that. Or maybe you just have a lack of great offensive heroes for war. So you're in a situation where you face a whole bunch of red tanks, so you need a lot more blue heroes. So that might be a little bit more weighted in the color of blue because you know you're going to be using that more often. So the second question you got to ask yourself is, should I even participate in Soul Exchange? There's a lot of people that are playing this game that should absolutely not change 10, 15, or 20 heroes for a specific hero, because they have a lack of 5 stars in general. So you got to ask yourself, do like a little barometer. Am I going to potentially use these heroes? I definitely don't recommend you using heroes that are already leveled up. So it's not worth it to take like a level 80 and throw this into a Soul Exchange for a hero or anything like that. You want to be using heroes that A, you either have duplicates for, or B, you're never going to use them. Because one important thing is, Small Giant always changes heroes around. So whether that be positively or negatively, we see heroes that sometimes are very awful that's now become magically really great. And a great example of that is going to be Inari, that is in the Soul Exchange. This was a pretty much unusable character for such a long time, but they made a small tweak to make it better. So the reason that you should really ask yourself, is it worth it to participate in Soul Exchange? A lot of people are going to say no, so save your heroes because this only comes around a few times a year. Next question you need to ask yourself is, do I have too many unused 5 stars? So just so you know, I'm personally in this category. I currently have like 180 or something like that unused 5 stars that are still at level 1. I almost am forced to use Soul Exchange just so I can make roster space, because it costs so many gems to add 5 more roster slots. So for me, myself personally, I have to participate in Soul Exchange just so I can clear up some room in my inventory. So the next question, number 4, you need to ask yourself is, which hero will I potentially use more? So there may be some heroes on this list that may be better in certain circumstances. They're overall graded better or whatever, but you're not going to use them personally. So you should definitely go more towards the characters you know you're going to be using more. And the 5th question you need to ask yourself is, which hero do I have the mats/ascension items and emblems for that I can do something immediately with this? So if this is a character that you need now and you have some great mats for, you've got some extra emblems, maybe you can limit break it. It's better to be using characters that you know you're going to be using right now. Okay, so I broke this down into different categories on the specific heroes here in Soul Exchange. So the first category I have are the don't do heroes. These are heroes, just don't even do it. Doesn't matter your roster space or anything like that. They're just not worth it. Second on this list is going to be the solid heroes. These are heroes that you should consider maybe doing if you have a hole in this category. It's not a bad character to be using. The next category of this is going to be niche specific heroes. So these are heroes that you're going to be used. They work really great in the niche, but maybe not used a whole bunch. but could fit into your roster. And then the fourth category are what I consider the most versatile heroes. So these are characters that you're going to be using all over, potentially on offense, defense, titans, raids, doesn't matter. You're going to be using this character quite frequently. So those are kind of the breakdowns of each. So the first one is Don't Do. First up on this list is going to be Sargasso, just a character that doesn't really work that well, works well in like the heal wars and stuff like that, but beyond that, not that great. I'm just not a big fan of this character. They've tried to revamp him quite a bit, and currently right now as he is, not a character I plan on leveling up or that anybody should really level up right now. Next up on the list is going to be regular Rana, a character that tried to go off, and they did some great work with this character in the costume, but unfortunately the regular version not really that worth it. Next up on the Don't Do list is Ruben. Don't Do Ruben. It's a character that deals damage but doesn't really do too much beyond that. I'm not a big fan at all. So going on, we have our solid heroes. These are heroes that you should definitely consider maybe picking if you need them. First up is going to be Thor. This is a character I've considered grabbing in this soul exchange just because pure fact is I don't have him. So maybe you could do him, but I do like him. He does have some utility on offense as well as defense. Next up on the list is going to be Rumpelstiltskin, a character that is just kind of all over the place, does a lot of different random things. Maybe you're into that, does a lot of different random things pretty okay. And then next up on our solids is going to be Jean-Francois. This is a character I used to use quite a bit in the past because you can kind of cheat giving yourself mega defense. So use Jean-Francois plus kill hair, and magically you've got a whole bunch of defense for your heroes, as well as works really good against other heroes that are throwing defensive down on your characters. Next up on our list is going to be a Lassie. I really love the costume version of a Lassie. But the regular version, it's just a solid blue character. It's not a bad hero or anything like that, just pretty solid, overall pretty good. And then next up on the list is going to be Gargajamal, another character that again is just, it's solid on offense, will work on defense if you really need it to. Not a bad character to pick. So next up in our categories is going to be the niche specific heroes. So these are heroes that may work well for you if you have specific circumstances. So first up is going to be Guardian Chameleon. Character that is going to be used on your mythic titans, so switching around that, potentially specific in events as well, to where you can switch the colors and stuff like that, but beyond that it's going to be very niche specific. Next up in our niches is going to be Horgol costume. I know you might be wondering, well, why is he so great? Well, yeah, that's a ton of attack down for 6 turns. This character is just insane. So it could definitely be used on the very fast wars. Being able to do that very fast speed is just awesome. Next up on niche is going to be Gravemaker. It's really weird to see this character fall a bit, but the reason being is they've just released a ton of amazing red heroes such as like Octros or Elizabeth that are just taking over defenses. So unfortunately, Gravemaker has pretty much found himself just specifically on defense. He works pretty well, but he's unfortunately not in just like the mega broken on defense anymore. So he is niche specific for defense, still a great character to have on defense, but he definitely misses the mark on offense as well as titans. So our next category of heroes are what I consider most versatile. These are heroes that you will be using in different circumstances quite frequently. So first up is going to be Inari, a character that again used to be really bad, but now is really solid. I have this character limit broken. I use Inari all the time. Got her on offense, defense. I use her on Titans as well. Just a great overall hero that I use quite frequently. Next up on the list is going to be Kill Hair. Now this does have an asterisk next to it because Kill Hair costume is going to be coming out in about a month or so, so you got to be looking out for what they release with the costume version. So maybe not a character I would pick on Soul Exchange, especially if I plan on getting doing some pulls in the Easter event coming up, because you could potentially just get it from that. So regardless of that, Kill Hair is really great. I've used Kill Hair a lot on offense, got her leveled up, emblemed and everything like that. She's a great hero overall. Next up on the list is going to be Scotty, just a character that just deals a ton of damage. You don't realize how much damage this character does, and not to mention it will punish any teams that are using minion heroes. I really like Scotty a lot. And then next up on the most versatile list is going to be Ursenia. I love using her against Titans, being able to reflect the damage as well as throwing blind back at the Titans. Using her on offense is definitely effective as well too, and defense could work in that situation too. So I really like her as well. So in terms of all of these, if you ask me, for me, it's a toss-up between Scotty and Inari. I have both of them maxed and already used, but I could potentially just use it for a second one. So let me know in the comments, which heroes do you plan on using in your soul exchange? Which ones did you get? And I appreciate it. I'll see you in the next video.